Good afternoon. I'm going to review The Life of Elves by Muriel Barbery, translated, because I've been reminded lately that translators are important, and I try to remember that. Translated from the French by Alison Anderson. And I'm also going to finish up a little bit of Cabernet I have left over from the other night. So, The Life of Elves by Muriel Barbery. This is the third novel by the author. Her last novel, The Elegance of the Hedgehog, I read and I really enjoyed, and apparently she's been living quite well, traveling internationally on the proceeds from that book for the past 10 years approximately, until she finally decided to publish another novel, which is this one. Now I have to admit I was a little bit disappointed. I knew it was fantasy going in, but I just didn't get it. I expected more from the author of The Elegance of the Hedgehog, which I think was a big part of why she hadn't published in almost 10 years. Because she knew that there would be reader and publisher expectations for her next work. At least that's what an article I read said. So as I said, this is a fantasy novel. So we have two little girls, Clara and Maria, some very generic French names, I suppose. Clara and Maria are both orphans. They both are taken in by separate families in separate countries, one in Italy and one in France. Clara is in Italy, and she spends her childhood with a priest, learning to play music. She learns very quickly. She's something of a prodigy. She doesn't even have to be taught. She simply sits down at the piano and learns very quickly. She's also clairvoyant, so she sees things, she feels things through the music, and she sees them. She dreams things that are happening in other places, and through her visions and dreams she comes to be connected with Maria, who is in France, growing up among peasants. Maria has different talents. She's very connected to the land, to the weather. In fact, she discovers that she can control things like the snow, and both girls discover a hidden fantastical world of elves and whatnot. Great premise, great execution at first. For the first half of the book, I was actually quite intrigued. I was on my way to giving it a 4-star review, but in the second half, when things should have been coming together for me, things just didn't come together. You're working your way up to a battle. The battle was less than spectacular. We're also working with the girl's backstory a little bit. They're related. I won't tell you how they're related, but they're related. Their backstory is a little unclear, even though it's explained to you. Bradbury has some interesting stuff going on with art and music and connections to nature, but I don't feel like she completely follows through with that. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad book. I did enjoy it. I ended up giving it 3 stars, but I felt like there was a little bit of something missing there for me. Perhaps if I hadn't read The Elegance of the Hedgehog, maybe I would have enjoyed it more, but I had such high expectations going into this novel, although apart from the author's name, I probably never would have picked this up, because The Life of Elves, fantasy isn't really my thing. I won't tell you not to read it, but I won't say run out and get it right now and read it. If you enjoy fantasy, if you've enjoyed The Elegance of the Hedgehog, give it a try. You might get more out of it than I did. The Life of Elves by Muriel Barbery.